and the sun is shining. It's been very cold here since we've been, but today and yesterday we've been blessed with some nice weather. Not that it matters to us, Scott. We're stuck indoors watching 9-ball. Up against Duan Kwok Kwang. Can't focus. I've got sure-firing questions.
Here, Carl, he can zip right back down for the...
Yeah, he's been eating the salads, he's been in the gym, he's dropped quite a lot of bit of weight, you know, a few pounds, hasn't he, Scott? Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about that outside just now. He says he does this all the time. He'll go up 15, 20 kilos and then down 15 to 20 kilos. Well, Carl, you and I kind of know how that works.
Well, you say that. I'm good at going up, but just... important that, you know, he feels good at the table. Obviously for us, Scott, it's game over. We can do what we want. We just sit here and talk about the game.
Yeah, this is really good for our health. Long over.
But obviously Eklund's out there performing. He's wearing his pool shirts. He wants to feel good at the table. It definitely helps you perform. I'm a firm believer in that.
No, I like the way he played this ball. He didn't force anything, just pinched back. Took the short side.
What's your thoughts on all this wrapping the bottom of the cue with tennis grips and all that, Scott? What are we doing with all this?
I mean, listen, it all really, you know where it all began. The 5-time U.S. Open champion, Earl the Pearl Strickland. When he comes with an idea, the players seem to follow suit, and Shane's kind of like the one that really followed suit with the extension back when Earl started it. You know, Earl was flaunting his cue at the U.S. Open this year in Atlantic City. I think, listen, I think Earl's a genius. I actually like Earl a lot. Very smart guy. He's got a lot of great ideas. And I think the players take some of what he does seriously.
You know, Earl the Pearl still plays the game at a high level, well into his 60s, right, Scott?
Yeah, he's a madman as far as conditioning, right? He likes to stay in shape, stays active. I think that's obviously, this day and age, a massive part of the game.
Keen tennis player. I wonder what he'd think of paddle tennis, Scott.
I don't know how he wouldn't like that game. I think it's a great game. We don't have it in the States, but it really needs to take off there. It is much better than a game called pickleball, but we'll move back to the PLP.
Yeah, Eklund catch it. Gets off to a perfect start with the break and run. Currently sits on 1 win from 3, so that just tells you the importance of this match. Now he sits in 13th place at the start of the day. Duan Kwok Kwang, unfortunately, 0 wins from his 3, and the man closest to us on the screens, playing on the left, is Andy At. He's played 4. He's lost 4, so the Vietnamese duo yet to pick up a point between them.
Yeah, Jason and the man at the table, Shaw and I were looking for him for several days up in the mountains. We finally found him. Thought it was going to make a big difference in his pool game, but let's hope he's not better off up in the mountains.
Yeah, it looked like quite a good strike, to be fair. I think the one ball just went a little high. Caught both points.
Seems to me like they're struggling a little bit more with the 1 today when they're breaking from the right side of the table. I don't think the side is available here. If it is, it's real thin. He just tucked down behind the 6 and 9. Is that too passive? Yeah, really all he had. What's he going to do where the blue 2 is? I don't think he could do much more. 2 rails behind this ball unless he feels like jumping it, but I think he's got a big reach on the jump. Yeah, notice, Carl, how deep he got on the 1. It just tells me, and we noticed it in match number 1, that these rails might be shortening up a bit. The table's getting a lot more play. Boy, at the end of the week, they are not going to be easy.
This ball will go into the corner. It'll also go into the middle. How's the speed? Needs to slow up fast. Put himself in jail.
Yeah, and it looked like he used a touch of inside there just to keep the cue ball in a straight line, and I think that's also going to slow it down a bit. And he might spin that 1 in with an outside ball and just come towards the purple 5. Oh, very clever. Mr. Kaci. Tucked him in right behind the 8. It's the second 2-rail kick he might have. Coming to measure this one out. Now you can thin this one towards the lower right and gain real good separation. Come thick behind it and get too thin, you will scratch in the lower right if you hit it hard enough. Oh, got it perfect. Great shot. Most likely going to use the pink here. He could come behind the 3. I feel like it's almost tougher to come behind the 3 than it is the pink.
Yeah, wonderful speed. Wonderful shot. Duong's going for the short cue. He's going airborne. He's going to fly it over the pink. Going to try and knock the blue 2 in the bottom left pocket.
All depends on how much he can see of the 2. If he can see enough of it, he could just try to use the 6. Might be able to make it to the top left. I don't know. Surprised at the pace. That all had to do with how he had to swerve the cue ball, but felt like the same line. He could have just rolled it with a swerve and used the 6. Tried to make it there, I think, Carl.
Yeah, the word butchered springs to mind there. Did not handle that shot too well at all. Just float this in with a little bit of left English. Let the weight of the cue ball float back across. Don't be straight. Just giving himself a little bit too much work. Nothing's coming easy and obvious at the minute.
Yeah, it's straight enough. I don't know if he has to come back to the short side below the 5 or if he wants to take something towards the center here and just steep on the purple. He's ripping back. Can't blame him where the green 6 is now. He can go forward.
Yeah, similar thing here and all. You can see how tight the 6 ball into the side is from that angle. Tyler Steyer is playing on the other table. He's just won a rack. He's 3-1 up over young Edward. Jeremy Jones sat table side watching the action. He can't get enough.
Yeah, this is missed by a long margin there. Didn't threaten the pocket by any means.
It always seems to be the case, doesn't it? It's like when you play someone who's not very good at pool and they miss a ball by a mile, they always seem to leave yourself in this position. That Kaci finds himself close. If he'd got close to the pot, he would have probably stuck the ball up. It seems like it's the only way Dwang's going to win a rack, isn't it? By getting a little bit lucky.
And this needs to settle. I mean, he's okay. He can smooth it in with an outside ball or just try to float it with a high ball and come across. This can just get away from you a little bit if you overhit it. And that was a pretty good stroke, but he didn't get into it enough. So, Carl, that gift that Kaci handed him looks like it's going to come right back.
Yeah. Ball in hand, Scott. He's potted 2 balls.
Oh, boy. Look at this. Trick shot.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration creeping in, and you know, he's a long way from home. He's been here a couple of weeks. Just feels like everything he does is just not happening. That'll get the job done. Well, the second rack in this match was a strange one. But it's Eklund kept it. Who's won it? 2-0. Scott, what's Duan Kwok Kwan got to do here? You know, obviously, he knows the points carry forward after the opening 5 days. He knows the top 10 qualify. There's still a lot of pool left, but you just get the vibe. He's giving up a little bit.
Yeah, I think you've still got to wait for that moment. I was watching him up close against Manis yesterday in that really good match, and I love his game. You've talked about how fun he is to watch. I think he's a smooth criminal, but you've got to wait for your opportunity and take advantage. You've also got to let the mistakes go. It seems like that's been a little bit of a problem for Duong so far. Steyer coming towards the 7. Did okay. Work to do to get on the black 8.
Yeah, we'll just see how he gets on with the brown 7 here. Maybe we won't. Good break. Ball potted now. Ball's flying around the table. It often does when Kaci breaks. I think it was going to go in the side as well.
Yeah, does he use the 2, 9, and 6? Bring it back down table, or has he got other ideas? Maybe use the 3? I think you got more room for error if you just try to bank the 1 back down here towards the bottom rail and use that little wall on the left side.
Yeah, Tyler Steyer did miss that brown 7. Looks like Edward's going to win the rack. 3-1 to Steyer at the minute, so this will make it 3-2. Start of that match, I did remind you all that both these players have played 3-1-1. This at 8th and 9th in the league table.
Did pretty good here. I don't know if he can get to the left of the 8 or not. He might have to come to the long rail. Yeah. I think that's probably the play. This first left long rail.
Yeah, good shot. Yeah, he might leave a gap, but he can't pop the ball.
Kaci going to the extension. 1 30-second extension per rack. Kind of in between what he wants to do here. Cue ball on the rail makes life miserable at times. Here at least doing something defensive. He's just got to cross this below the 3. And dangerous putting the 1 over that left corner, Carl.
Sanjin's just at the side of us, Scott, doing an interview, I think, with local TV.
Yeah, and we know Sanjin's not thrilled with this performance so far in the last day and a half. That will change, can change.
Yeah,
Class guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's really enjoying this interview. 0 wins from 4. He stands up.
Yeah, I mean, class guy just to do the interview, but he entertains his people here, and I'll tell you what, he played great in front of the huge crowd last week at the European Open.
Yeah, he'll have enjoyed that one too. A couple of matches he played on the main table. Really healthy crowd around watching. Beat his good friend Declan Kaci in the event. Now then, can he get on this red 3 ball? Can he start his campaign in this league? playing this in the corner. Feels like it offers better position. It's a little light. It's going to be a stretchy one. Probably going to need the extension.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it was almost impossible not to get good on the 3 if you come to the corner, the 2. Yeah, and this is a big stretch. Wiggled it home.
Yeah, it just shows you, doesn't it, at the right pace, the pocket will still swallow the ball. Yeah, I think you just got to try and enjoy it now. Can't change yesterday, can you? Get on with it, try and play the game that we've seen him play at the Rails Cup. Played wonderful in that team format. He's off and running here. He trails 2-1. Table 2. Tyler Steyer still leads 3 racks to 2. It's the young Indonesian player at the table. He's got 5 balls left. Should really knock them all in to pull it back level. This is the situation.
I tell you what, at quick glance, done this multiple times, it looks a little bit like a Aloysius Yap.
Yeah, I mean, I can get on board with that. Younger brother or something.
He's got all the pockets for the brown 7. Wants this to run a little. Yeah, he didn't want to end up straight to the corner. Now he's got to contest with the 9 if he decides to go to the left side with the brown 7.
Well, you could see Edward willing it in. It did go in, it fell. Didn't go in clean. Dwang's no shot on the blue 2. No obvious shot anyway, or easy shot.
Wiggle the 8 home, Edward. And he's got this 9 to tie it up with Steyer, who I feel has played pretty solid so far this event. Wants to make up what happened last week in a series of rough matches. Duong just banks the 2 into the lower right. And look at this, Carl.
Yep. Edward misses the 9, leaves it over the hole for Tyler Steyer to get on the hill. That's going to hurt him. Milking it, Tyler Steyer. Going around having a look, not sure why. He's jacking down on this as well. Okay. He's on the hill. 4-2.
And Wong just missed a long 3 by some margin. Tracked all the way around the table. 7 and 8 are a little awkward in the top right. 7 does not pass. And you really want to get out to the center here. You don't want to have to deal with the 7 or 8 staying thin on the purple 5. did a good job there. Even a line on the 6 where he could just draw towards the 8 would be okay. That would be actually ideal, I think. I like to get pretty close to it. It looks pretty good. Maybe a bit straighter than you want it to be.
Decided to pull the cue ball back in behind it for this shot down the long way. That's not too bad.
Yeah, and this is a shot that Carl was kind of just touching on as well. If you hit it with the right speed, hard to miss this ball unless you're overcutting it. Actually, a real clean strike right there. Now, do you just stay above the side? I think you have to. You don't want to try and beat the side getting below it.
Yeah, decides to leave himself mid-ranger. Yeah, I don't think this means nothing to Eklund Kaci. He's done so much on the pool table in his short career. Still only a very young man. But he sits fairly near the bottom of the table. Just one win.
There's a look at Steyer trying to close this match out at 5-2. Just doesn't want to end up straight on the 7. Not only is he straight, but he might have angle where he's kind of going to the top rail. Might be forced to play this in the lower right unless he thinks he can zip it back. Yeah, so he's going to play the 8 lower right, I believe. One good shot away.
Good pot there from Steyer. Should be good enough for the point. This will put him on 2 wins from 4. His opponent, at least he stays on 1 win. He's also played 4 as well. So a little bit of movement in the table.
Yeah, and a great opener here. 3-7 is playable from anywhere. I believe the pink passes the purple 5 up to the top left.
Yeah, table 2. We've just seen Tyler Steyer win. Let's have a look who's coming up next on that very table. Yeah, it's going to be Johan Chua against Claudio Kaci. Johan Chua undefeated. Claudio Kaci. He's now 4-2. Wow. It must have gone, Scott. Obviously, he was in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I had a pretty good look at it. I felt like he had almost a whole pocket, or if not a whole pocket, he just caught that real fat. Kind of from the 3 to the 4, though, I felt like he got a little too far to the right when you're.
Kaci's strength is his, it's definitely his potting. People, pundits, and I've heard opinions saying he was a lot better than Moskyanikov. I'm not too sure. He was a tiny bit better, but still wasn't the Kaci we have seen in the big events. But he just seems to still only mid-20s. Well, opportunity to get on the hill has gone awry. Tuan Kwok Kwang won't mind. It's this 9 ball to pull another rack back. 3-2. Yeah, Eklund, 1 win from 3 matches. So if Tuan can somehow get the win here, they would both go level. 1 win from 4 matches, and we've seen it previous years. Skylar Woodward struggled on the opening day, and then the next 2 or 3 days went undefeated for a few days, and you can soon start moving up the leaderboard. The 2 brothers side by side.
Yeah, look at that shot there. The bigger brother. It's the gun show.
Yeah, for now though, Eklund, just for now. Give him a couple of years on the table as well, maybe.
A few more meals. A couple more wins.
Sorry, Scott. I was just saying, I hope Taka's over there, and I spotted him here. I'm sure you'll see a good picture floating around socials soon.
Yeah, both such good guys. Really lighthearted guys. If you get to know them, impossible not to like them.
Bank. Or the cut.
That cut's tough over the 3. Could just send the 2 up towards the 8, maybe, if he could avoid the pink and wedge him up behind the brown 7 or somewhere in that direction. Feel like he wants to shoot this, though. I just don't know where the 3 plays, Carl.
It's going to play up into the far left or the left centre. That's where.
Was it you that I was just talking to about score lines and shot decisions?
Yeah, we were talking in the opening match. We were talking about playing the player and not the table and all that sort of stuff. If that's what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think that shot there also kind of dictated the score line, right?
Yeah, and also, listen, whenever you let your opponent back to the table, even if they're kicking or jumping, crazy things can happen. You've played enough pool matches over the years, Scott. If you've got a bank shot like that where you're a big favourite to make it, why not just fire it?
Yeah, I think that's probably always going to be the case for somebody like myself because I have a hard time with the straight ends. I'm directly at the 5 here, and he's gotten away with it. Pretty hard not to, really.
A little straight on the purple 5. Can he manufacture something? No, okay. Well, where the brown 7 is, he's got to get juicy here.
Yeah, and if he decides to go rail first, it's all too important to have the speed right. You can get up past the 9 here. I think the only real way to get to the 7 with ease is to catch that rail first. He did. Oh, very good speed as well.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Handled that very nice. A little bit of life in this match now. This feels like the vibe of the game has changed here.
Yeah, we always kind of felt like Kaci was trying to keep him in it, to be real.
Three apiece. It's now a best of 3. We've not seen a great deal from either of these two, Scott, where you feel like they're going to be stood there on day 8 with the silverware.
No, definitely.
We'll come back to Scott in a minute. He's just catching his breath. Just kind of feels like it's the Capito, Shaw, Chua, SVB. Neuhausen's doing well. Yep, he's going along quietly. You back with us? You okay?
Never left, Shag, never left.
Golden!
9.
Well, the timing could not be better for Eklund Kaci. It could not be worse for his opponent.
Constantly seems to have that ball going that direction.
Yeah, was it his previous break where it was tracking?
Yeah. So a huge moment there for Kaci. Just hasn't been going Wong's way. Minute he claws his way back, gets smacked in the face by a golden break. Can he do the same? Well, quite the opposite. In fact, all in hand for Eklund.
What do I have to do? Look at this. Incredible how it found its way into the side pocket. Chance for Kaci. Eklund Kaci. Ball in hand.
Kind of feel like this is a must here. He's got to get out for a couple of reasons. One, his confidence. Two, Wong's starting to play a little better. I'd say mostly for the confidence. 6 to the 7, the 9 isn't straightforward. Yeah, put a little extra work into getting to this right long rail. Now got a big stretch for the 6-5 Albanian.
Yeah, he's got to get this right. This will put him on 2 wins from 4 games, and he'll be right there in touching distance.
Just don't overhit this, and you can beat the right side. Very, very clean. Punch up or draw out. And he's got a good angle to wrap around above the 9. You can afford to stay nice and tight here. It's not going to scratch twice into the left side. You know it's going to open up off that second rail.
Yeah, hit that one very nice. That's the best you could do there. Good speed. Okay, it's this for the win. This will keep the 2 Vietnamese players on 0 wins in 8 matches. Wow. Look at that. I told you, Scott. What I've been saying about Eklund. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but the last 6 months, he's just started missing balls.
Well, I can't believe the cue ball tracked forward there, right? I figured he'd just stop the ball with a little drag.
Yeah, like a kill shot.
Of course, yeah. So everything going awry there. Maybe the tip coming up. Timing is clearly off. How much did that match versus Gorst affect him? I mean, he really did take a lot of time off losing that match, Hill.
Well, yeah, it affected him. It affected the bank balance because he cashed a nice check in. Maybe it's affected him that way.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, Carl. Listen, you're a pool player. I mean, money's nice, right? But we're playing to win, and that was such a big moment. Did it really have that big of an impact? I mean, some say it did.
What's your thoughts? My thoughts on the World Final was I thought Kaci played brilliant. I thought 75% of the match, Fedor was getting the things in his favour. I thought he dug him really well. Even the last rack, it's not like he played a bad shot. It was just one of them things.
Sure, I'm not really talking about the details of the match. I'm talking about the outcome more so,
just
though,
not being
right?
world champ.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it got to him a little bit. We know he took
time off,
almost a year hiatus after that. So did it really have a little bit more of an impact than we thought? Is it still playing a role, if that's the case?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something. He's just started to miss balls. Again, you know, as you said, he's took time off. How much is he practicing back home? Is he putting the hours in? I don't know. Something's not quite right.
Yeah, because for quite a while, just over a year ago, he was my top 2 player in the world in the tournament format.
Off the back of missing the 9, because we're playing alternate break, it just so happens it was his break. I'm just glad that Duan got his chance because he deserves his chance. They're missing the bumblebee for the match. What has Duan Kwok Kwan got here? It's a tricky opener.
Yeah, the problem is the 8, right? If he tends to go forward, which obviously needs to, but I mean, with a high ball, that cue ball could just arc kind of towards the 8. It's real easy to overhit the 1 and crash towards it. You might want to hit this easier or crash with an outside ball towards the 8. I don't think he can get towards the center of the table. Yeah, he had to go towards it with an inside ball.
Ideal position here to win the match now. It's all in his hands.
Yeah, he'd love to end up right where the 2 is now for the pink 4 after the 3. Did he get tricky here where he's drawing back towards the purple? I mean, that's a situation really where you've basically got ball in hand on the 2. You've got to make sure you know where you want to be on the 3.
That's good enough. That's all he needed to do. Just get anywhere on the left of the table. It looks like as long as you hit the 6 full-ish, it'll go. So it's not difficult. Make sure you control the cue ball. Which he has done.
Yeah, shocking miss on the 9 by Kaci has led to this. Well, I like the way he played that. Very little movement on the cue ball. All just a matter of getting the purple buried in the top left. Everything else leads to one another. He was good to the side, even better.
Well, he's had some massive help here off that man right there. This was the 9. Hit it straight into the rail. That was for the win. That was for the point.
Maybe he was in between, just kind of like dragging the cue ball and rolling it and, well, just flubbered it.
Well, good news for Vietnamese fans around the world. One of your guys is going to win a point. Kaci has missed a 9 ball to win 5 racks to 3. Duong Quoc Quang takes the win. He's off the board. 1 win from 4. Coming up